Hey everybody, it's Aiden here once again, and welcome back to the channel as it's time to put on the smooth jazz, fill the room with a smoky haze, and mount the Red Bull of chat in another episode of Pressing Issues. So, the British Grand Prix. The only race I can watch live this year, and by God it didn't disappoint. I can't remember the last time I was glued to my television screen for the entirety of a Grand Prix. Probably Sochi 2017, so we're talking a very long time here. Now for once we actually got an entertaining race with some great battles, which many argue is what we should be having every single race. And we've got some talking points. What is this black magic fuckery? But anyway, we had Bottas on pole beating Lewis by 6 thousandths of a second, which after some very basic calculations works out at 41 centimetres. It was that close. And it was close off the line as well. The two Mercedes going wheel to wheel after just a couple of laps like it was Bahrain 2014 all over again, and the two Haas cars ended their shit week with contact at turn 3. Meanwhile, Verstappen and Leclerc were picking up where they left off in Austria, trying everything in the book to get past each other, using switchbacks, DRS, party mode, everything. It was brilliant. Hamilton was never outside of DRS range of Bottas for the entirety of the first stint, even forcing a couple of mistakes from the Finn and ever so briefly took the lead, attracting so much noise from the massive crowd that had turned up. After that, he held back and looked to be stalking his teammate who was either off or on. He never seems to be consistent too much. Bottas pitted. Hamilton got lucky with a safety car called out to rescue Antonio Giovinazzi Sauber, or whatever the hell it's called this week, from the gravel trap. Free pit stop, and he was off again on a set of hard tyres for a one-stop run, which must have been gutting for Bottas, who had pitted 2 or 3 laps before. Lewis Hamilton is a very lucky boy. Then, after the safety car, the racing started again. Cars tripping all over each other, Perez bulldozing Hulkenberg, and everybody having a go at each other. Like I say, it was brilliant. And when was the last time we saw that much racing? You know, proper racing. It's few and far between. Gasly had the best race of the year and was the perfect wingman for Max. Red Bull using the second car to act as a barrier for Max to pull a gap on Leclerc as he went and chased down Vettel. Until that is, when the main talking point of the race happened. Max made a brilliant move on Vettel around the outside of Stoke Corner and only just kept it on the track. But as they went into Club Corner, Vettel smashed into the arse of the Red Bull, very reminiscent of what I saw in one of my special films last week. Vettel even had the audacity to stick his hand out of the cockpit as if to say, "What are you doing?" as the Red Bull hit the inside sausage curb Sophia Florsch style and got air. But miracle of miracles, there was not major floor, rear wing or suspension damage, and Verstappen continued to finish, while Vettel finished behind George Russell. And then he copped a 10-second penalty. Vettel, once again involved in an incident, and once again, it's not his fault. He braked early, he claimed. No, not gonna work. You flew into the back of the Red Bull because you forgot how your brake pedal is supposed to work. Again. And after the royal fucking Leclerc got from the strategist in the race, I bet he laughed all the way to the end. David Coulthard made a point during the broadcast on Channel 4. Remember when Schumacher was close to the end of his career and he smashed someone up the arse? He then complained the other driver braked too early. It was only when it happened another 3 or 4 times he realised he was the common denominator. Now, not suggesting Vettel is going to retire at the end of the year, but mentally, he is broken. Should he take a year out? You know, go on a sabbatical, although not as long as the one that Mika Häkkinen's having. But it looks like Hamilton, Leclerc and Verstappen have got his number. And it also makes it 2 years running that a Ferrari has punted another car at Silverstone. Now as a result of the smash, Vettel was down to the back of the field but managed to catch and pass Perez and Kubica before a 10-second penalty was applied. It's funny, I was chatting in Discord real time with the race and when Max was on hanger straight I said, "So when's Vettel going to stack it then?" 30 seconds later, bang. There is, given the 10-second penalty, something I don't get about the penalty system. With no penalty, Vettel would have finished behind Russell but ahead of Kubica and Perez. Max also finished in the points, although a couple of places down on where he should have been in inverted commas. Surely, for Vettel that is, finishing where he did was penalty enough. Same way for Williams gets a gearbox issue and has to take a penalty. They can't drop any further, can they? Again, David Coulthard's point. But for a change, it was great to see some actual racing. By far the best race of the year. But here comes a little something. Don't expect this to happen all the time. Not all races can be ones for the ages, and they certainly weren't in the so-called glory years. We saw cars running nose to tail for extended periods without bitching about the tyres. We had some talking points. We had a Williams not finishing last for a change. Yeah, alright, circumstance, but I'll take it. So yeah, don't be disappointed if the next race isn't as good as this one. Driver of the day? Has to be Leclerc. He was on a mission today to get revenge for Austria and will probably send a case of champagne to the Vettel household next week. He was amazing on the attack and in defence, using his driving abilities to get past and keep from getting past. And with no trigger-happy penalties. They say the new layout of Silverstone has ruined the circuit, but today, that twisty bit did exactly what it was designed to do. Shoutouts also have to go to Gasly, who has had his best race of the season, and I certainly hope he can find something more from this as part of his Control-Alt-Delete reset. Carlos Sainz gets a shout-out in the McLaren, who staved off a hard-charging Daniel Ricciardo in the last few laps, and I would, actually, add Verstappen to that list. He's really impressing me this season, and seems a changed driver. Before, to quote Lewis, he was a bit of a dickhead, but really, he's grown up since his fracas with Ocon last year. Maybe actually getting punished by the FIA was what he needed. So this has been my thoughts on the British Grand Prix. Leave your thoughts on the Vettel and Max incident in the comments or anything you saw during the race that I may have missed, and let's get a discussion going, as that's what this series is for. And if you want to continue the discussion in real time, a link to my Discord is also in the description, as well as all my social media stuff. As always, thank you so much to the patrons on your screen, and along with my social media, if you want to join them, you can join in the link that is also in the description. So all that's left to say is, I've been Adam Millward, have a great day wherever you live in the world, and goodbye.